Welcome. It is the Nisha Jackson Show. She's Nisha Jackson. I am not. I'm Rusty Humphries. I'm here, just your humble. I don't know why I'm here, but
I know why you're here, because you make the show super fun.
Oh, well, thank you.
And very enjoyable for me.
Does it make it easier for you?
Besides, I love you.
Oh, she's my friend. All right, so I have a friend, and you know, you and I did one show where I came into the office and did my thing. We kind of went over things, but it wasn't. I was going to say it wasn't fair. It was fair, but you and I have known each other for a long time, and I thought it would be interesting to do a show.
Yes.
Where you met a patient for a first time, but I wanted somebody messed up, right? Somebody got problems.
Okay.
And so I have a friend, and her name is Janille. And Janille, Nisha, I've known her since elementary school. Okay.
And I just met her.
And you just met her. I've known her since
like 2 seconds ago. Just met her.
Right. And I've known her not to be a sick person. Okay. I've known her she is tough, and she's strong, and she's funny, and she's a do-it-yourselfer and all kinds of stuff. However, over the past 2 years, I don't know what the hell happened, but she's gone from being able to do everything to, you know, you go out to dinner and she has a list of like 50 things she can't eat, and the restaurant guys are like, we don't know what to do, right? Does this happen very often?
Yes.
Where all of a sudden it's just different?
Yes. This was not my idea for this show. This was Rusty's idea. But the more I think about it, the more I think this could be very powerful for people to listen to, because Rusty, there are so many men and women out there, and definitely more women than men, that have this exact situation. They're going along, everything's fine, and then they just get ramrodded with something, and they go from doctor to doctor and practitioner to practitioner, trying to figure out what the problem is. Like, why am I so sensitive to everything, including air? And they're sick. They don't feel well, and they cannot get answers, and they cannot get on the other side of it. So,
and then the other thing that's frustrating is you go to your family. Okay, listen, I'm allergic. Okay, it's really not that bad. Right? And people go, it can't be that bad.
Right. So,
and you've seen this before. Yes. She's not the only one.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is good, because I have this bright thing on my forehead. I'm not really oily. I think it's just like the sun keeps moving. The sun is really, can you see that? It's like,
me too.
If I go down here, it's better. Anyway.
We'll do the show this way.
Anyway, this will be powerful, I think. So Janille, where's Janille?
All right, we're going to bring her in. I'm going to get out of here, and Janille's her name. She's very nice. Be nice to her. You guys, be nice to her.
I'll ask all the right questions. But at least people will be able to see what is it that we do that maybe is different than what they're getting somewhere else
from a regular doctor, right? Okay.
Yeah. Right. So let's bring her in. Okay. All right. So we have Janille here. I just met Janille, and this was Rusty's idea to do a show to just for me to evaluate her, to just investigate her health issues, to see if there's something else that maybe could be done to help her feel better. So Janille, I want you to tell me, what are your top 4 issues that you're concerned about with your health? Like, what are the top 4 things?
Today, not just like some big history, but just today.
Right now.
Energy. So wanting to sleep all day long. I would say food, and trying to work through what can I eat? How do I reincorporate things?
Are you sleeping at night?
You know, it depends on where I am, I think. And
so you would say your energy is poor. You're really oversensitive to most things that you're eating.
Yes.
But you've been diagnosed with
Hashimoto.
So we talked about that in one of our shows, the Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune response of your body that attacks the thyroid. So if you've been diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, Hashimoto's, are you on thyroid medicine?
I am.
Okay. So what other medications or supplements are you taking?
I'm taking the levothyroxine. I just started the LDN. Thank you. I suggested that to my naturopath, and she was on board. But it estrogen, lots of different supplements that change all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and the levothyroxine, I just started doing a compounded one because lo and behold, when we looked up what was in it, it had everything that was affecting me. So I've had this long-term suppression, feeling like no matter what I do, I just can't seem to get on top of things. I don't feel like I'm getting better. And so it's maybe the little things that are in supplements, or I don't know. I've just recently started to really look at every nuance of what is in anything, even what the capsule's made of, and things like that.
So here's the problem: is that when the medical community sees somebody like this that has intense fatigue, she's probably got body pain. Do you have body pain?
Yes, it's either a lot of joint pain.
So she's probably got a form of fibromyalgia, I'm guessing also, which is another autoimmune disorder. We continue to look for what is the cause of this, because we want to treat the cause, right? Because that's what we do in medicine, is we find the cause, we treat the cause, we get somebody on medication, and that's it. But this is like an invasion of the body, what she's talking about, because anytime you're dealing with an autoimmune disorder, you have to go, in my opinion, you have to go look at the whole person. So you want to look at the diet's important, but you really want to look at the adrenals, the stress glands, and how they're functioning. And then you want to look at the thyroid, all the thyroid hormones, not just the one she's taking, which is T4, which is a storage thyroid. And you want to look at another type of thyroid level, which is called reverse T3, which means it's reversing out the good parts of the thyroid. We won't get into that today. And then you also want to look at the brain chemicals, and you really want to look at the gut. So you can spend your whole life, like Janille's talking about, you can spend your whole life trying to look at what's in this and what's in that, and what I shouldn't eat and what I can eat. But you're only as good as your gut is healthy. So getting on to supplementation and getting your gut back into balance and all of your vitamin levels up at the same time that you're optimizing all your female hormones, all your thyroid hormones, and all of your adrenal hormones, your adrenal support hormones. All of these things have to happen at the same time. So she's doing the best she can, because she's trusting the advice of her naturopath and her medical physician or practitioner that she's seeing. But we're skimming the surface. So she's taking one thyroid and she's taking one female hormone. Well, there's like 10 others. So, and she just started on what we talked about in the Hashimoto's show, which was the low dose naltrexone. And that helps to support the autoimmune disorder that she has, the Hashimoto's. It helps to give her better control over her symptoms and suppress the autoimmune response. That's what the LDN does. She just started that. So if you were coming into me and I was seeing you, which is why we're doing this show, is just to give you an idea of like what we're trying to accomplish in a visit. We would want to look at the adrenal hormones, do a test on you, a blood test. We'd want to look at all the thyroid hormones, all the female hormones, because our body's not meant to just take estrogen. Estrogen's a growth hormone. And if you only take estrogen and you're not balanced with the other female hormones, which you're not, right? You're just taking estrogen?
Correct.
So that puts her in an estrogen dominant state, which is actually making her symptoms worse. So we'd want to look at all of those levels, including her nutrient levels, her blood levels of vitamin blood levels, and then we'd want to look at the brain chemicals. And then once we have all of those things laid out in front of us, we literally would start fixing one thing after the next, probably starting with your gut. So are you doing things with your naturopath that are fixing your gut absorption?
I am doing butyrine, just lots of lower gut issues. Yeah. The other thing that maybe you noticed is I have a hard time with little things that I might eat. Lots of rashes everywhere. So I don't know if that's to do with the gut, just what goes in the gut.
So this requires a much more deeper conversation, but I'm gonna just kind of skim over it a little bit just for the purpose of this show. So she has an autoimmune disorder called Hashimoto's, and an autoimmune disorder, we feel there's a theory, there's actually research to show that when you have an autoimmune disorder, The reason why you have it is that your adrenals, your stress system at some point in your life has become overstressed. When the body becomes overstressed, it doesn't make enough, after a while, it doesn't make enough cortisol. And cortisol is like anti-inflammatory. So if you don't make enough cortisol and you have too much inflammation, your body's going to react to everything and it's going to come out in your skin. So that's why we want to go to work at the whole endocrine system and bring all those levels up together, so that you and your gut being healthy, so that your body has a better defense against something that would normally put you over the edge, like something like a steak that has a flavor on it besides salt and pepper would put you right.
Paprika.
Yeah.
Inflammation for 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I just can't even tell you how important it is that fixing the gut. We'd probably look for too much yeast in your gut, which I'm guessing you have. And we would probably want to fix that pretty aggressively. So that's your body being in overdrive. I'm guessing if I teased out your history of stress in your life, that you would tell me that this problem started 2 to 3 years, I don't know what your history is, after I had this thing happen in my life, or a run of being really crazy with my career or business.
I sometimes,
if it's not true, just say it's true. No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
She's so right.
I feel like I can, in my mind, I'm like, why? And I'm like always spinning my mind, what caused this? And sometimes I think, gosh, it went way back to college. Things that we used to tease about, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, but I went to Pepperdine and I came back my freshman year and I was just freezing all the time. And things like that. So I don't know how far back it went.
Yeah. If you got divorced 5 years ago, obviously that's very stressful.
Yeah.
And would you say that the majority of your symptoms have been isolated to the last 3 to 4 years?
I actually think it's been much longer. There was a time in my 30s when I just was dragging all the time. I was depressed and all these other symptoms.
Right.
And I don't think anyone really even checked my thyroid till I was nearly 40.
Wow. So this is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because this is a very vibrant, successful woman that has not had somebody look at the whole picture for her. And you can't fix someone unless you look at the whole picture. You can't just say, oh, you have Hashimoto's, let's get you on some thyroid that maybe won't irritate your stomach or cause you to have hives. We have to treat the whole body. And these kind of patients, we have to go low and slow. So we have to use very minimal dosages over a longer period of time and introduce one thing at a time. Many times we can't go through the gut. We have to go through the skin using topical preparations rather than oral medications, just to avoid the gut, to try to get the gut to repair. So again, we're really skimming the surface. This is not really how a full visit would go, but I wanted to give you an idea of what we would be looking at, because what you're doing isn't enough to get better. It's not enough.
That really kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
Working so hard for a very long time and just feeling like there's this suppression.
Yep. So all I would say is that doing a blood test so that we could see the whole picture, and then really going to work at repairing your gut would be the two things that I would want to do. Yeah. And you're doing a couple of those things that will help, but it's not enough. And, many people will say, well, I've already done hormones or I've already been on thyroid, but you're not on the right plan. You're not on the right balance. And so that's what we would look at and get you on the right track.
Awesome.
She needs a blood test.
And would the lab in a box work?
Yes. So many patients that don't live in Oregon, where most of our clinics are, we can send a blood kit to them, or we can call in an order for them to a local lab, and then I can interpret the labs for them and give them an idea of exactly what they should be doing. And then they can follow up with their local healthcare provider. Many providers now are really open to taking the suggestions of somebody that specializes in this field because they don't want to do it. And I write it all out for the patient, and it's kind of like a prescription plan not only for their supplements, but also what they should be taking prescription-wise to get balanced. So that the lab in the box or the interpretation of the labs is really helpful. So that's what you should do.
Sounds good.
Have you done anything with the DNA, the 23andMe and those kind of DNA things? Do you like those? Do you do anything with those?
Yeah, but many times, I mean, that's a good question, Rusty. Many times the 23andMe and looking at the metabolization of different medications and all of that, I mean, that's something we can add. But I will tell you, instead of getting really down a couple of rabbit trails, we really fix the most obvious things first, which to us, they're obvious. But to other healthcare professionals, it's not obvious at all, given the fact that she's had this problem for a long time. She's only using 1 out of the 4 hormones. She's only using one type of thyroid. She's not using the active thyroid. She's only using the T4. She was not diagnosed for years. She should have been diagnosed much earlier. And nobody has really treated the autoimmune disorder. And the only way you can treat that is to get the system back up from an adrenal standpoint, get the adrenals powered back up again so she's not reacting to everything. She needs cortisol. So all of these things can happen, but you need somebody that specializes in this field so that you're not just taking a bunch of drugs either, because you're going to react to those too.
Right.
So we have to tease your body back into balance, because your body's been operating out of balance for so long that it's gotten used to that. And that's why you can't get to the bottom of it.
I feel like that. I feel like sometimes I don't know how to be well.
I bet.
And you spent a lifetime being energetic and go and happy, and then you kind of get into this mode where you don't know how to be well, or you don't trust. Gosh, well, maybe I won't ever have that kind of energy again. I don't even know how to do it.
Right. Well, then it becomes almost like a mental thing where everything you're just expecting. It's it was bad last time. It's going to be bad again. This meal's going to be bad,
but I don't know if I will tomorrow.
Right. Right. This is more common than you think, unfortunately, but there is a way to get you back into balance. I know it doesn't seem possible after what you've been through, but there is a way.
Hope and trust. And faith.
Yes. And seeing someone who's done it a lot, I think is helpful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So this was great. I'm glad that we did this. I'm looking forward to maybe once we get your labs done, we can do another show and talk to everybody about how we're going to treat this, and then maybe do a show even a month or 2 later and see how you're doing.
Okay.
I like it.
Thanks.
Real live patients. It's awesome.
Nisha, first of all, thank you very much. I mean, that's a very good friend of mine and somebody very important. But again, what's important about this is I think that she's not the only one, but everybody feels like they're the only one, right?
Right. I know, it's so frustrating. And I'm telling you, the mental aspect of this is huge, because you start feeling like you can't believe anyone. You're never going to get better. You're always going to react to something that you're eating or getting, on your body, that it does feel a little defeating and scary. But we can fix that. We fix it all the time.
How long does something like that take? I mean, she said that she's been like this since her 30s, and I'm looking at her. She's probably 32, 33, but it's been going for a while, she says. Yeah. How long does it take?
So there is no, a lot of people often want to know, okay, I do this, and then when am I going to feel better? Like, when am I going to feel great? Everybody's path is completely different. It's very individual. And that's what I love about this treatment, is it's a very individualized treatment. But that means that the outcomes are very individualized too. So
although when I had my hormone optimization, you said 72 hours, I'd feel something. And it was like on the nose.
Yeah, that was the hormones, how the blood levels coming up with 72 hours. So typically we would give somebody that has a chronic illness, especially autoimmune, at least 90 days to get back on track. But I'm telling you, I've had people with chronic hives, with serious big blisters on their body. They don't know what it's coming from. People who have multiple autoimmune disorders that haven't been treated appropriately, and they get better quickly. I mean, 60 days, 90 days. I mean, if you think about 90 days, what's 90 days when you've been suffering 20 years?
Absolutely.
So there's hope for people. And that's why I'm passionate about what we do, is we can take people who are really frustrated and have been, they're all the way down the road with these issues, and they're not getting the right answers, and we can help them.
Well, 3 months ago, I was really bad, and now I'm planning a trip to Mount Everest. So you're doing a great job. So anyway, if you're having any of these kind of issues, and you just man, you want some help. You don't know what to do. You've tried everything. You went to your doctor and your family practitioner, and they're nice people. You love them, but maybe they don't have that expertise in what you need. And believe me, I've seen how many times Janille had to go to doctors and they just didn't know. And you see how quickly Nisha knew exactly what to do. Go to nishajackson.com. Go to One Peak Medical Clinics. Find out what they can do for you. Okay, this is your life. It's your health. Your health is everything. We worry about money and jobs and things, but when you're sick, none of that matters. None of it. So please, nishajackson.com. Find out more. See what Nisha and her great team can do for you. I know that you will thank the good Lord that you did that. Nisha, great job today. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you again next time. I'm Rusty Humphries. Go to nishajackson.com. Subscribe. Share this show. How many people do you know are sick and they don't know what's wrong? Share this show and let them see it.
He's very passionate.
I am very passionate because it's so important what you're doing. So please, nishajackson.com. Subscribe, share, and we'll see. I'm Rusty Humphries. She's Nisha Jackson, and we'll see you next time.
We'll get you fixed up.
There you go. And nishajackson.com. We'll see you next time here on the Nisha Jackson.